I don't know if I can really talk about it too much, but it is coming out in May. It's going to be on USA, and that's all I can really say. It is going to be on USA Network, and I feel like once that happens, I am hoping, crossing my fingers, that stuff is going to really start get moving.
Is this your first TV?
It'll be my first time appearing on TV as myself and performing as myself. But it's the second time I'll be on TV. The first time I was on my first TV credit is Spike's Tattoo Nightmares, Miami. I was in a reenactment for that episode. I didn't get a tattoo or nothing.
Cool.
But they have like little reenactments for the stories behind the tattoos that they cover up and everything.
When did that one air?
That was maybe like maybe like 2 years ago. I want to say maybe 2 years ago. A little part, nice little bit of money. So
Tell me about it.
it was pretty cool. It was it was weird. Again, I don't live in LA, but we were shooting out in LA, and I woke up very late. So I wake up and immediately I'm like, oh shoot, I'm late. I'm gonna be late. They're calling me. They're like, hey, are you gonna still show up? And I'm like, yeah, I overslept. I'm on my way right now. So I start driving. They keep on messaging me. Where are you? Where are you? I'm like, I'm 30 minutes out. 30 minutes out. So I finally get to the venue. Immediately, the director of the whole shoot is just on me. Just starts making fun of me. Just like, oh, well, finally he's here. Finally he's here. They're great. This and that. I'm apologizing like crazy. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And it was a long shoot day. My character was I was a boyfriend of this one girl, and my best friend and her. I catch my best friend and her making out, and it's like devastating and all that. And then I get back at my buddy who made out with my girlfriend by getting him a really bad tattoo, and that was my character.
What was the tattoo?
I honestly I don't remember. It was like some kind of initials. It was something like money over bitches or something like that. But I honestly can't remember.
And what's next? Like, how did you land that one?
Just through auditions, you know. I was on a casting website and submitted for it. Didn't really think, oh, I'm not hear back from them. Sure enough, I heard back, and they're like, come in to audition. I'm like, all right. So I go in, audition. I'm looking at the room of people that are auditioning. I'm like, there's no way they're gonna cast me. I don't think I'm like the ugliest guy in the world, but I'm definitely not the greatest. I'm not the Brad Pitt of the world. You know what I mean? Like I'm not over here killing it, but I'm in there. I'm just like, oh, there's no way I'm gonna get this. Like these guys are probably gonna get it, this and that. And sure enough, I audition. It goes really, really well. And they call me up a few weeks later, just like, hey, we want you in the part. Here's what you need to know, and come on down. That was the cool thing too, was it's not scripted. It was just kind of very like, all right, this is how you need to react. And I'm like, okay. All right, I want you to say this. All right.
How trusting do you think is like Craigslist? Like, do you look up from there, or do you use some other type of website to look for things?
For stand-up?
Yeah.
When I first started out, there was a few times where I looked through Craigslist, and I'll say I'll never do that again. And this is why. If you're a starting out comedian, this is very important. Try to find out about these producers. They're called bringer producers, and be aware of them. They're not to be trusted. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They're not trustworthy producers. Producer's job for any comedy show, whether the producer's a comedian or just somebody producing a comedy show, their job is to produce a show. And it's their job to spend money on the advertising, spend money on the promoting, and spend money to get the comics and all that. But there are some producers that choose to put all that pressure that should be on them on the comedians. And they'll tell you, and they'll take advantage of starting out comics by telling them, oh, I'll get you on stage at the Comedy Store, And hey, there'll be bookers there, there'll be this and that there, there'll be agents and managers there. You just need to bring 10 people, and that's the key thing. Like if someone tells you you need to bring a certain amount of people, don't do the show. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't do the show. It's a bringer show, which it means that they're requiring you to bring X amount of people to fill the seats, so that way they can get money in their pockets, rather than anybody else getting money. And also, if you don't bring X amount of people, what happens is you get to the venue, and they either put you dead last, and possibly get bumped off the show entirely by somebody else, or they take away time. So you're, instead of doing, you were told, oh, you'll do 5 minutes, you'll do 3 minutes because they said bring 10, you brought 5. Or they won't let you perform at all, and you brought 5 instead of 10. They'll just tell you, no, you didn't bring 10, you don't get to perform, but you still brought those 5 people. And you can argue with them and all this, but you know.
So after Craigslist, what did you use to find?
Friends and connections. That's how you do it. That's the real way to do it, is through friends, through just networking, knowing the right people, and referrals, recommendations, and auditions. At certain clubs, they do offer auditions. I'm a regular at Flappers Comedy Club in both Burbank and Claremont, and I got in with them because I did one of their auditions on Wednesday and Thursday, and it's a very supportive club. I highly recommend, if you're a starting out comedian, I think that's definitely a place to start, is Flappers Comedy Club, either in Claremont or in Burbank, because they are very supportive, and they'll get you on shows, and you can definitely develop yourself as a comic, I believe, from there, and definitely meet a wide variety of comedians at in all different levels.
We'll be right back after these public service announcements.
The story of rock and roll has been a fascinating 50 years worth of genius, innovation, folly, and tragedy. Mike Stark has covered it all in his brilliant music magazine, Rock 50. You can hear the best of this outstanding series every day, 7 days a week at 6 a.m. Pacific. It's the best of rock and roll on the Best of Rock 50 with Mike Stark, mornings at 6 Pacific, only on WPMD on the net, where people make a difference.
If there is a fire in your home, you and your family just have 2 minutes to escape. That's why it's important to have smoking alarms and test them monthly. You should also develop an escape plan and practice that plan, so everyone in your family can get out in less than 2 minutes. A home fire can strike anywhere, anytime, devastating families. But we can change that. Make your plan today. The American Red Cross has other tools to help keep your family safe. Visit redcross.org to learn more.
People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with the potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock where you invest to make money, but a stock for a social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps students like me go to college, which ends up making the future better for everybody. I could be the first college graduate in my family, the first district attorney for my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there will be a second and a third.
Too quick.
This could really be the start
Sometimes
of
I'll
something.
be like, man, I had
My
more
name is
questions,
Charles,
but I only
and
had a
I'm your
55-minute show.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
And And we are back here on the Falcon Spotlight. I'm your host, Rob Flores, here on WPMD, Cerritos College, Norwalk, California. You're listening to America's best public affairs radio show by the Intercollegiate Broadcasting System. And remember, folks, you can email me at robert064@gmail.com, or you can also look up my fan page, which is Cerritos College Falcon Spotlight on Facebook. You know, especially right before the show ends, we always like to plug, where people can find you. So again, repeat where people can find you.
Oh yeah, sure. You guys can find me at JJF Comedy. That's for Twitter and Instagram and everything. And also my website is the same thing, jjfcomedy.com. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all that. I do my best to promote my shows and everything on there. Yeah. And I perform a lot at Flappers in both Claremont and Burbank, so you can usually find me there, or starting to work some different rooms now. Trying to get some more gigs. I'll be out in San Diego on the 9th, April 9th.
I noticed that, Burbank, there's like a whole lot of studios and stuff like that. For a comedian, like, are there any like local places, or have you noticed that like it's more like in like the wealthier cities, or is there like small time type ones you can go to as well?
There's definitely some smaller areas in my area where I live, which is kind of closer to Inland Empire. There's not a huge comedy community, but there is a comedy community out there, and it's a great one. It's a fantastic one, and I think definitely I believe comics should try their best to promote more out that way. Not so much for because LA is a very showcasey kind of town. You want to showcase yourself. There's a reason why everyone moves to LA. Other than, I'm following my dream to be an actor. As a comedian, there's a reason why you move to LA, and you move to LA because you're ready to make that transition into getting an agent, getting a manager. And the same thing for New York is a bit the same. Is you want to... New York and LA are the two places where comics can go and not so much build their audience, build their fan base. It's much more to find fame is a word for it. Is find a better, find fame. Why not? Let's go with that. Sometimes I overthink things.
What have you learned from your very first performance compared to now?
Definitely my voice has changed in terms of like how I perform, what my views are on stage, what my views and opinions are, what I want to talk about. Because when I first started, I mean, I actually made up some stories about myself that weren't real, but because I came up with material about it. But like I'd never experienced certain things, so why am I talking about it? It's one of those things, I'm talking about something that I have no idea anything about. I've never experienced it. I don't know what, and when I actually do experience it, it's probably going to be something completely different than what I made up. And then I can't talk about it on stage because, somebody who's a fan probably saw me say it before, and they're like, wait, you already talked about it. Why has your thing changed? It's inconsistent. Definitely try being more honest on stage, to an extent. Like you gotta change some stuff, but not everything. You don't need to change. You don't change everything.
Yeah, I noticed Chris Rock, like when he'll talk about how his dad, like, for everything, you're sick, we'll give you Robitussin for this, Robitussin for that.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's like I guess the idea of like joking about humble beginnings and stuff like that. Yeah. What do you do? Like, give an example of like a performance you do.
What do you mean?
Like, do a performance, like.
Do some stand up right now?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. That's all right. I guess. All right. You put me on the spot. Hold on. Let me look up something really fast. Then. It's very unconventional, but all right. Let me see.
Again, if you're just tuning in, he can do voices too.
Yeah. I can probably do something like that. Okay. So I'm not very good at hitting on women. I'm very bad at it. I find a lot of times whenever I try to hit on women, what seems to happen is I actually get kind of nervous. I'm a bit of a shy guy. I actually get kind of nervous, and whenever I try to hit on women, my voice actually gets lower, and I end up sounding like Buffalo Bill from Silence of the Lambs, which isn't a good thing if you've never seen the movie. It's not really the hero of the story. I don't think that's good. No woman anywhere wants a guy to walk up to them and just be like, "Hi, my name's Julian. Listen, would you get in my van, come with me to my place and see the hole in my basement? And what's your opinion on lotions and baskets?" It's not how you make friends, really. So something different I've been trying to do is try and change up my voice a bit, try to sound a little different, a little more manly, like Liam Neeson from Taken. You know, just kind of a man's man at this point. He's a definition of that. So I feel like if I just walked up, I don't know who you are. I don't know what you're looking for in a man. You can walk away right now. That'd be the end of it. Or you can give me your number, and I will call you. I will find you. And why run away? Come back. I have a special set of skills. She's gone. Too strong. Too strong. Is that good? This is weird.
How about more voices?
This is definitely more voices. Well, I can do Morgan Freeman, of course. And if I would approach a woman, I'd feel like I would just approach them with very subtlety, very relaxed, soothing voice. Just my word. Madam, you are the most gorgeous woman I've ever seen. Truly the gods took their time, carving the marble stone to create this angel I see before me. Oh, how the heavens and earth stand still. Bitch, why are you asleep now? Wake up.
So, you have your YouTube, and what do you think has been the benefit as far as social media?
Definitely social media does definitely help. Gives your presence online, and it's one way to build your fan base, build an audience, and everything that want to come out and see you. And really, online is where you're gonna, especially for an actor, for actors, for voiceover artists, for musicians, for comedians, you want that online presence because you can reach such a wider audience than you used to. For a musician, for example, like you couldn't, like starting out as a musician, you couldn't, if you were living in California, you couldn't get an audience in Texas unless you drove down to Texas, started doing shows in Texas. Whereas now, as a musician, you can put your stuff on YouTube, put your stuff on SoundCloud, put your stuff on iTunes and everything, and send it out, and people from Texas can hear it, and you can build a fan base in Texas.
Are you on SoundCloud?
I am not, but just giving some examples. No, but that's definitely something. I will say I got booked for a TV show recently because a producer saw my YouTube video and I was doing impressions, and one of my stand-up sets, they saw my YouTube video and they said, "Hey, we saw you doing impressions on your stand-up and your YouTube video. We'd like you to come into audition." And that's how I landed in audition. That's how I landed on. I was able to get casted on a show.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so it's definitely one of those kind of like movie moments where it's like he was discovered on YouTube. You know.
Yeah, because I noticed, I forget his name, but I know he was on YouTube, and then all of a sudden he was on, Fluffy's Stand Up Revolution. And then all of a sudden I see this guy on Gotham the other day.
Dustin Yarborough.
Yeah, I was like, whoa,
Very funny guy. He's a super nice guy, super chill. He's actually, before he was on Stand Up Revolution, he was on everything. He was on, I think it was 21 and Over. He was making small appearances on TV shows and in movies. And then he did Stand Up Revolution, and then after that he started getting more spots. But yeah, Dustin Yarborough, look him up. He's a very funny guy. I recommend him.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
UFC.
And there's definitely people that from you, like, I mean, I have a good buddy, Drew Lynch, who just this past season of America's Got Talent was the runner-up in America's Got Talent. And I mean, he's just working hard right now and just booking shows left and right, headlining everywhere he can, and riding that wave and keeping his social media presence up. Because the minute he stops promoting himself is when he's just going to fade out. and people are just gonna be like, oh yeah, he was on America's Got Talent, or they can just be like, yeah, this is the guy that was on America's Talent. There's a difference between the two things. You know what I mean?
We're down to our final minute, but I was wondering, obviously sometimes people learn well also from mentors. People have, had experience. What was it like for you? Finding like someone that's kind of done shows for a while now. What tips do you have now that you have entered the path? What tips do you have for people that want to get into?
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying. I gotta say, it's a networking process. It's much more networking than it is. It is being fun. It is the fact of being funny. You gotta be funny. If you're not funny, then and especially like if I was just still doing open mics and wasn't getting booked on shows, there's something wrong, because I've been doing it for 5 years and maybe I'm not funny, but I am funny. Hands down, I am funny. Not so much on this show, but you know what I mean. But no, you gotta be funny. You gotta be a cool person. You gotta network. You gotta make friends out there. You gotta find your comedy community. And sometimes it is unfortunate where you get into like cliques and stuff. I disagree with those. I don't think you should. I think you should get to know everybody, and definitely don't ever feel like you deserve something more than somebody else. Don't ever think like, why is that person ahead of me? Just be appreciative that they are where they are and you know them.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to be here on the Falcon Spotlight.
Thank you very much for having me.
And ladies and gentlemen, this concludes this episode. Until next time, folks.